Okay, y'all, I'm back. Welcome to episode 4 of Soul Seed Conversations with Soul Rise Essentials. My name is Soliel Lindsey, and I'm the CEO and the owner. Y'all, if you're not doing anything great, if you're doing something great, then you know you're going to experience some challenges. So we had some technical difficulties, but everything is set back up. Thank y'all for joining me back in. I see you, Jenny. I'm just going to go through that whole spiel one more time, and then I'm going to join you in, I promise. Thank y'all for coming back and for sticking with me through those trials and tribulations. That's what happens when you're on the way to greatness. So shout out to y'all for joining. Again, my name is Soliel Lindsey. I'm the owner and CEO of Soul Rise Essentials. And today we are back with episode 4 of Soul Seed Conversations. So who are we? What do we do? Why do we exist? So Soul Rise Essentials is a unisex affirmation apparel and accessories brand. We're based in Richmond, Virginia, but we are a global brand with a global mission and message. And our affirmation apparel, it exists to affirm you. So if you've gone through things and you're a resilient human on the grow and you're bouncing back and you're choosing to stay, to have tenacity and just rise from those trials and tribulations, this apparel brand exists for you. We create affirmation apparel for the entire family. So we have sizes that range all the way from 2T in toddlers all the way up to a double XL in adult sizes. So if you have any special size requests for bigger, for smaller, we can make that happen too. And aside from that, the affirmation apparel, we also have Soul Seed Conversations. So we're really big on mental health and you putting that in the forefront and putting that first. And we share resources and tips here. And one of those ways that we do that is through the Soul Seed Conversation. So this is episode 4. Hi, Serenity. And we have a guest here. Her name is Jenny James, and she's going to be joining us from her brand called The Holy Mom. So I'm going to bring her in. Right before I do that, the purpose of what we do is to connect, to inspire, to share, and to learn. We are not professionals. Well, I'm not. I'm going to let Jenny tell you what her profession is. Hi, Maestro. I'm not a professional. I'm just a really big advocate for mental health and mental health education. So anything that you see or hear here today is someone's lived experience. It is not professional advice. And there may be some things that we talk about that may be sensitive to some viewers. So just, trigger warnings. We may be mentioning things related to mental health conditions and things in regard to postpartum and depression. So just want to throw that out there. Jenny, let me bring you on up in this room. I am so sorry for that technical difficulty earlier. Let's see. All right. If you can, just, okay, I can invite you. Here we go. So I see Maestro, I see Serenity. Oh my goodness, hello. It helps that you are just a breath of sunshine because I was stressed out. How you doing?
You're doing great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I love those earrings.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So I would love to have you tell the Soul Tribe who you are and what you do.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate the privilege. My name is Jennifer James. I go by Jenny because that's how I've always been called, Jenny. So do you want me to talk about why I started Holy Mom or just a little bit about me?
Yeah, what is Holy Mom? Where are you based at? What do you do? Yeah.
Sure. So like Soliel said, that I'm based in Richmond, Virginia as well. I'm a board certified coach. I got my master's in counseling about 10 years ago. And that's where the journey of counseling really started. I really was interested in counseling and just helping people and helping folks live the best version of themselves. And then motherhood happened. So I became a mom. I was 8 months pregnant when I got my master's and I was still working of it. Yes.
Okay.
And then I was working off and on, and 5 years later, I had my second child. And then 21 months later, I had my third one. So, in this whole journey of motherhood, I sort of lost myself. And here I coming from a mental health background. I'm a big mental health advocate too. And still pursuing my LPC, which is my licensed professional counselor certificate. Excuse me. And then I just, realized about 2 years ago, what am I doing? What's going on? What is going on in my life? Who am I? I felt like I really lost myself, going through multiple pregnancies and then going through postpartum at the time as well. But having the counseling background and going through the DSM, I knew the signs, what to pick up on. So I really had to hit the reset button in my own life. And I had my own awakening. So I applied what I had learned to myself and pulled myself through. But of course, you need a support system. I was going through counseling as well and coaching. and I had my support system, and really just shifting my mindset and thinking about what I need to do. And that's really how Holy Mom emerged, because I'm like, wait a second, here I am with this background and with this knowledge, and I went through this, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when I was counseling clients before I really had my first child, we had just learned about postpartum anxiety, postpartum depression through our courses, right? But it's just a snippet. And I have come to the conclusion that till you go through an experience, you have no idea what it is, right?
Yeah.
So right
Yeah.
now, if I'm seeking out a counselor or a coach, first I ask them, are you a mom? Do you have kids? So if that's now criteria is now met, I'm like, nothing against you, but I just feel like, I need to know that, because I
Right.
now that I could have been a better counselor had I gone through that process. So that's
Mm.
I started Holy Mom Coaching. So I switched gears from counseling to coaching because I felt that that was a better fit. The difference between counseling is you're more like an expert, so you wear the expert hat, and then you have to label and diagnose. So I know that, but I just don't like the labeling and the diagnosing. So my personality is, I believe I'm a co-journer. I like to come alongside people and link arms and
You
say that,
said
hey,
co-joiner?
co
Co-joiner?
co-journer,
Okay.
co-journer, like, a partner. So we're just linking arms together, and I'm on my healing journey and you're on your healing journey. So I can just shine lights on different areas. And I believe every person is whole. I'm not talking about mental health disorders. I recognize the signs for those, and I don't deal with clients who have those mental health
Mm.
disorders. Not to put a label or anything or degrade anybody, but it's just that
Yeah.
I'm not the right fit for that. So when I take on clients, I like to have a discovery call to make sure I'm the right fit for everybody and my client is the right fit for me. And if we are not, then I like to refer people out to the right resources.
Got it. So you used a term earlier that I'm sure some people may know about. If they're here, they're tapped into like mental health education. But for people that are not, what is DSM? What does that mean?
Oh, it's like a diagnostic manual. So if you go see a counselor and you're going through insurance, every therapist or every counselor has to put a diagnosis for you. And people who are going through the counseling background or psychology, they need to be well versed in that to write the diagnosis. Your treatment plan is based on your diagnosis. And then
Mm.
the therapists are also working with supervisors and other clinicians to make sure that everybody is on the same treatment plan, because when we start talking about medication, that DSM diagnosis is very important.
Wow. Okay. So I actually attended. Well, did you know that Richmond now has a Black Mental Health Week, or just a mental health week also, but there's a Black portion too. Did you know
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I did.
So I went to some events. It was back in October. They had a full week of events. And
Yeah.
what you just said is the same exact thing that they said about, because it was new to me when you go see a therapist,
Mhm.
that they have to put, a code in there or something from, or a diagnosis from the DSM. I didn't realize that. So
Yes.
that's interesting. And I put in my email today when I reminded people to show up tonight, I said, have you ever wanted to get in the mind of a therapist? Because I think that's so, it's something that people probably wish that they could do. I'm a thinker, and I've seen therapists, and I see one now, and I'm always like, wonder what she's been through, or so I really think it's valuable to have you here and share that experience, because you're already dropping information that most people wouldn't know.
I
So I
appreciate
want
and it's a
to.
great question, and not a lot of people understand that. But um, and this is also to remember, whatever you share stays on your file, and the insurance company sees your diagnosis as well. So sometimes it's for your benefit, and sometimes it
Mm,
be against you. So that's
wow.
yeah. So if there is heavy duty stuff going on, your insurances can go up based on your diagnosis, and that's the
Wow.
don't like. That's the part
Yeah.
I don't like about the counseling world. That the labeling, the diagnosing, I don't like that. I recognize it's important to know. If there were no precautions based on insurance and how the medical system is going to treat you, I would be okay with that, because
Mm,
knowledge is important. But based on that information is how you are labeled, and I just
wow. Yeah. You
that's
didn't
the
connect
reason.
with that part of the work.
No. So
Yeah.
that's the reason I switched gears from counseling, and I went on to do additional certification and got my board certificate, to get my coaching certificate. And now I'm working on my PhD in counseling and psychological studies with a major in life coaching. Are you still there? Is it me or you? I can, but it seems like it's freezing up a little bit. It's freezing. It's freezing up. I can't hear you. No, it's frozen.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, that's good. You good now?
Okay, I'm back. Okay, okay, okay. All right. So I was gonna ask you a question. So I heard you say something along the lines of have you finished your master's? Or are you still in school for your master's?
Oh no, I graduated with my master's in 2011. I'm working on my PhD right now.
PhD. Okay, got it. All right. So you are a certified coach. Is it a life coach? What kind of coaching?
Yes, so it's a board certified coach, but I do have my specialty in health and wellness.
Okay. Okay. So, what is your end goal? Because you said you didn't like the diagnosing part and that part of the field. So, when everything's said and done and you have your PhD, what is the goal for Holy Mom?
Yeah, so the reason I created Holy Mom and what my passion is to come alongside women and empower, educate, and equip them to find and nurture their true self through transformation of mind, body, and spirit. So
Mm,
I want to empower women, that especially moms who are going through this journey of motherhood or who have lost themselves in the journey of motherhood. I can be a life coach to anybody, but what I'm passionate about is coming alongside women and
mm,
moms, because I feel
mhm.
like when you become a mom, you put yourself on the back burner. You're trying to feed everybody else and cater to the demands and needs of your family, but you're really not taking care of yourself. And you're thinking in your head that, hey, I'm giving my best to everybody else, but really, if you don't take care of yourself, you cannot be the best version of yourself. You know that you've done the work for yourself too. So, and there's so many moms out there. So that's, I went through that. And that's why I'm passionate about that, because I do see that every single day. There's so many
Right.
moms out there who have the desire to give their best to their kids, to their families, and just show up as the best version of themselves. But the truth is, if you don't take care of yourself, you really cannot show up as your best version. And you cannot be a good example to your children, because you need to model to your kids
Yes.
you are taking care of yourself. And when I
Yes.
talk about taking care of yourself, yes, it's nice to get your nails done and all of that, but truly taking care of your mind, body, and spirit. So,
Deeply.
right, if you're
Mhm.
just taking care of your physical part, then okay, the kids are going to think, oh, it's just my physical body that I need to take care of, right? So you need to have those conversations that, okay, mommy's going to go see a counselor, or mommy's going to go see a coach, because mommy's not perfect and mommy
Right.
needs to work on our own issues,
Right.
right? And do
Yeah.
that. So it's a balance. So I think that's where you find balances when you're working on yourself. And I believe that it's a journey. You never arrive at it. You can always get yourself better. And I believe that I'm a lifelong learner
Agreed.
as well, because I want to
Agreed.
learn, keep on learning and helping others along the way. So that's
Absolutely.
what my goal is, to learn, learn more about coaching and helping other people and how to improve that. But my passion is for perinatal mental health and women's mental health.
I love it. So you have three children. You are a married woman in Virginia, and your children are 10, 5, and 3. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So let's dig more into your background, your
Yeah.
story. How long have you been married? What has motherhood been like for you?
So I've been married about 13 and a half years. Motherhood, I became a mom after 3 years into a marriage, because that was one of my goals, that I want to finish my master's when we have our first child. And it was right there, at 8 months I'm pregnant, I got my master's degree. So since then, motherhood has been like, okay, everything was new. My family came over for the first few weeks to help me out. And after that, it was like, oh, you're it, right? So my husband would be gone to work for most of the day, and I would be with my first child. So it was a brand new experience. And at that point, I didn't realize, like, was I going through postpartum? Was I not going through postpartum? There was just so much going on, so many
Yeah.
issues thing involved, you feel like it's just like your different state of mind because your body is just changed so much and you just
Yeah,
don't and I don't think that that's talked about enough in our culture or in our society, the changes that women go through and how it impacts you. That's why that awareness and,
absolutely.
break this, that women need to talk about that okay, my hormones are going haywire, sometimes I'm crying, sometimes I'm laughing, and after the 6 week checkup is done, nobody's really following up on mom's health, right? So
Yes. Yeah.
I think the bar needs to be raised up to make sure that women's health is taken care of, or that's given a priority. You're just given one slip. Like I went to my 6 weeks checkup with my first child. Oh, this is it?
Yeah.
Is that all that you get checked? And they
Yep.
don't really
It was,
do a
yep.
exam. You just fill out a form. Oh, okay, you don't have depression, and that's it. See you next year.
That's it. Yep.
Really? Is that what we
Yep.
need?
Yep.
Um, I think it needs to be more than that. So I think that if we can create a support system, a community where we just can be raw, and I love that about your brand, that you believe in being authentic and transparent and real, because those are my core values as well, that we need to
Mm.
be raw and talk about some of the deep issues.
Yep.
And that's the reason I started my podcast. I'm like, okay, I can do coaching, one-on-one coaching or group coaching, but I really want to educate people out there too. So I use my network and I use my references, and I just have guests on and we talk about different areas of wellness for people to
Mm-hmm.
come on my podcast and share their story, because I think there's healing in sharing your story and listening to other people's story. At the same time, I have guests who can just educate and equip listeners to
Yes.
improve in practical ways.
Yes. I love your podcast. So for everyone listening, let them know what your podcast is so they can go and
Yeah.
check it out. It's very educational.
Thank you. It's called the Holy Mom Chat, which is WHOLYMOM Chat. And it's on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, most of the platforms out there.
I wanted to ask you about the spelling of Holy Mom. Why WHOLY?
Okay, good. Thank you for asking that. I coined that term because I believe in becoming whole. Um,
Yeah.
and that's why there's a W and then there's a capital H. So I believe in God, and I believe I'm a Christian. I don't impose my beliefs, but I believe that need to become whole through a divine presence, through God's holy presence. So
Yeah.
that's the reason I created that. Because to me, I can only become whole through God's holy presence. If I don't have God in me, I cannot really truly become whole. And that comes from the bottom of the fact that God created us as a whole being. So our journey in life on earth is to work towards that wholeness, and that
I like that.
can come through a divine being, and for me that's God. So that's why I coined the term, and that's why I believe in holy.
I love that. I love that. I wanted to ask you that before. I never got around to it. So thank you for sharing that. So
Yeah.
you have your podcast, you have your coaching business, and we talked about your children and marriage. So was there anybody else in your family? Was it one of your family members that was there for a couple of weeks, or your husband? Did somebody else point out to you? I know you said you knew what signs to look out for because of your history in the field, the mental health field, but did anybody else notice any differences with you?
No,
Really?
it boils down to your personality types too, right? So
Wow.
type, I'm an INFJ, which is like an introvert. I tend to keep my feelings towards myself. And I
Mm.
would that, some signs here and there. So my husband would be aware of what's going on, but not really knowing that how deep it is, or, because that's something that I need to work on, is being open and sharing about my emotions. So that's why I kept on keeping it in, keeping it in, keeping it in until, the whole bubble bursted. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, we
Yeah.
need to hit a reset button here.
So what was
So
that moment? What was that blow up moment, if you don't mind sharing?
I think it was just the fact that I was just realizing that I don't have any joy. I'm not feeling any joy in motherhood or anything that I'm doing. Like there wasn't like some issues going on in our life, but it's just that I'm like, I have everything. Everything is going okay, but I just don't feel joyful. I don't feel
Mm-hmm.
joy. So really boiling down to, why am I not feeling joyful? What is really going on? What has led up to this moment? So that's something that I like to promote a lot on my podcast and my coaches or my clients. That you really need, the first step is you need to take a pause and reconnect with yourself. Because till we do that, I don't think we realize how we are really doing. And it
Agreed.
all boils down to, how is your emotional regulation system? Are you taking an inventory of your emotional status? Because we keep on going on in autopilot. Like, I'm sure you know that when we have kids, there's a schedule, there's a routine, they
Yes.
need to be fed, this needs to happen, schooling and all of that. So imagine, make it three, right? Three kids in there. Um,
Yeah.
Go on autopilot. You're just doing things. You just
Yeah.
you wake up to the cries of the kids, nursing through the night, this and that going on. You just, first of all, you're not even thinking straight because of the lack of sleep, right?
Yep.
With little children. And once they come to a point that, okay, now we can sleep through the night, where we are right now. But you are just not thinking right. So you have
Yep.
no idea the toll all of this takes on your health. So even realizing that the stressors I was feeling physically, just feeling tired and fatigued, whereas I had no diagnosis physically, no issues going on. I was going
Mhm.
off of my physicals. There was no reasons to feel
Mm,
that, except for the fact that I have kids. I was nursing and I'm not really getting a good night's sleep. So
right.
just thinking about these attributes and just taking inventory of how I am eating. What am I feeding my body? Am I even eating right? Am I even eating?
Am I even eating? Yes.
So all these things play a role, and that's why I'm a
Yeah.
big advocate on the fact that you are created as a whole being, and there are many layers to your being. And
Yes.
when you're trying to fix yourself, or you're thinking about your healing, you need to address those things. What you eat is how you're going to be feeling. It affects that. The vitamin levels, vitamin D. I am very low in vitamin D on a
Mm-hmm.
consistent basis. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it can be in your genes. So recognize
Mm.
that it's in my genes. I'm on like a 10,000 IU on a daily dose, which is like a
Oh,
prescribed
wow.
outfit. Um,
Yeah.
and that makes a difference in how you feel, on your moods too, by the way, if you're vitamin D.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So
especially now, y'all. It's getting cold, and the lack of sun. We already kind of lack a lot of vitamin D, and when it gets cold, that depression starts to creep in with a lot of people. And then
yes,
add the holidays on top of all that too. So
yes. But sometimes if it is in your genes, like me, no matter how much I am in the sun, it's not going to bring my levels up. So
mm,
yeah. So next time you get a physical done, if you see any tendencies going towards, not feeling your best version, or just not feeling right,
yeah.
you have to ask for it. You have to ask a doctor to check your vitamin D levels.
Wow. Okay.
It's
Okay.
not
Thank you for sharing
that
that.
they're physical.
You said it's not?
It's not.
Okay. So you have to specifically ask for vitamin D levels. You are
Yes.
dropping gems on tonight. So I also wanted to ask you, with your three children, did you experience postpartum with each child, or was it one particular pregnancy?
So I feel like I've experienced different types of postpartum with each child.
Mm,
It was just different with each child.
yeah. Okay. So you think you went through it with each pregnancy, but it just looked different with each pregnancy?
Yeah, right. So like with my first one, I felt like it was postpartum, more like postpartum depression, but I was just so overwhelmed with the fact that I have a child and the child is dependent on me. With the first one, it was like that. But with the second one, he was born 5 years later. So, we were all relaxed and into our whole norm. And then he was
Yeah, do
born.
it all over again.
Yes. So that was
Yeah.
like, that took some taking used to. And then he was like, they are 21 months apart. So,
Mm,
he was still about one and something when I was expecting Eleanor, my third one. So it
hmm
feels like it just happened too quickly. So I didn't
hmm
really get a turnover. So with him, it
Yeah.
was for him as well. But again, because I was nursing with all three, right? So
Mhm.
nursing plays a role in your emotional health
I was
too.
just gonna say that they say that if you nurse, it has very positive, which I experience, very positive effects on your mental health.
Yes, it does. And then after that, it can go down the hill too, because when you stop
Mm,
nursing,
your
so
hormones are like rebalancing out. Yeah.
yes, so it's a transition. So I had
Yeah.
just stopped nursing my second one, and then a month or two later, I was expecting my third one. So it was just like, oh my goodness, everything is just happening too close to each other,
Yeah.
right?
And
And then
chemically, a lot is going on too.
exactly. And with my
Hmm
third one, it was more like anxiety and just feeling
mm
anxious. And then I noticed that I just started feeling claustrophobic, and I had any issues with claustrophobia before, but I realized that we had gone to like a train exhibit here in Richmond, And we were standing in line to get on a train, and it was just a short distance that you have to go through the train and then get off. And I was carrying my baby Eleanor on my harness in the front, and we got on the train. I'm like, oh, I cannot breathe. I need to get out of here. I'm like, I pushed everybody aside. I'm like, I need to get out of here. I just
Oh,
couldn't.
wow. Yeah.
So different things have changed. Like, I don't know if people can associate with this, but even wearing like long boots, tall boots, if I wear them too long or if they're too tight, I just feel like I cannot breathe anymore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So just different things that you go through.
So
So,
would you say that you were having like anxiety attacks maybe?
it wasn't really an anxiety attack. It was like claustrophobia basically, because
Hmm.
I cannot breathe. I need to get out of here.
Yeah. Wow.
The
So how
symptoms
long?
is similar to an anxiety attack, but
Hmm.
it wasn't that I wasn't able to function or anything. I was still functioning. It's
Hmm.
just that I really couldn't breathe. I'm like, I need to
Right.
get. As soon as I got out of the train, I'm like, okay, I can breathe. So it was just like that within a few seconds.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'm quite in tune with myself and how I feel
Hmm.
and what things trigger me. Um,
Hmm.
so that's another thing. If you don't take the time to be in
Hmm.
tune with yourself and listen to your body and feeling and
Hmm.
thoughts and emotions, you wouldn't know how to process them.
Yes, I love how you're speaking about being in tune. And I'm really thankful that you have the background that you have in mental health because, like you said, your personality type is you keep your emotions more to yourself, and the people around you didn't even notice what was going on. But because of your education, you knew what to look for. You were like, okay, I'm not really feeling myself. So I like how you're, speaking to the soul tribe and letting them know like it's really important to just be in tune with yourself in general, whether you're a parent, whether you're a mom, a dad, whoever. It's just really important to take inventory of your personality type, your triggers, your traumas, just being real about that stuff. So when, traumatic or just life-changing events happen in your life, new milestones, you can check in and say, okay, I'm normally like this, but I'm feeling like this now. What are the differences, and do I need to get checked out? So I appreciate you bringing that type of awareness.
Yeah. And that's why, I encourage people just to take 2 minutes every morning that you wake up and check in with yourself. How are you feeling?
Yeah,
Before getting your phone, before getting on the social media, or even waking up to the cries of your kids. Um,
yeah,
Set the alarm early. It's hard when you
it's
have
hard.
kids. I know it's hard, like especially with younger kids, because you just don't know when they're gonna wake up, right? Um, but take the time just to check in with yourself and set the tone for the day,
Yep.
and plan out your day in your head, that and choose to say some positive affirmations over yourself and over your day, and you'll see that it does affect your mindset and it does affect the tone of your day, how you choose to spend your day. But if you
Yeah.
wake up in a frantic, you don't have any time to think about it or think about how you're feeling. You just go 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 go.
Yep. So I've heard you say that your symptoms, if you will, you were experiencing some claustrophobia and also just, lack of joy. Everything is good around you. You have really no reason to feel depressed or anything like that. But those were your symptoms. Are there any other symptoms that you were experiencing?
Like I said, like fatigue and just lack of sleep. And
Hmm.
it wasn't because I couldn't fall asleep. Like, insomnia can be triggered sometimes because of anxiety and just feeling anxious for no
Yeah.
reason. Just
Yeah.
feeling
And
anxious,
yeah.
and just feeling like overwhelmed and stressed out. So that was with my third one. Just having so much to do and not just taking the time to relax. So that
Yeah.
was hard for me, was to relax. I already tend to be a doer even before I had any kids.
Hmm.
And I'm also a recovering perfectionist. So,
Yay, good for you. So how did your once you were honest about everything that was going on, did you go see a therapist? And also how or what did you do if you didn't do that? And then also how did your family support you? How did your husband support you, your children, other family members? I think that's important to talk about too.
yeah. So I did talk to my OBGYN. I did have a counselor. I did have a coach. So I was talking to everybody because I believe in those forms of therapy, right? I really didn't want to go down the medicine part because I know how it affects your body. I'm not against it.
Hmm.
If I'm not gonna degrade people who take it, but it was just
Hmm.
my choice. I wanted to manage other routes before I go down on medication. So that's when I found about my vitamin D levels, my B12 levels, and that made a difference of how I was feeling and how I was, just doing overall. So that did make a difference. Eating
Yeah.
right,
Mm-hmm.
how I ate, what I ate, and eating itself, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I would be just go and forget about eating,
Mm-hmm.
not realizing if you don't eat, you really don't produce any milk. So
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
especially if you're nursing,
Yep.
um, drinking enough amount of water, because I was not really drinking that much water. So drinking water. And then what else was your question? Supportive family. Yes,
Uh-huh.
I didn't really share in detail. I guess my sisters are my biggest supporters. I have three older sisters, and just the prayers of my parents and my sisters, and just being my good support system, and for my
Yeah.
husband too. So I would tell him what I'm feeling, and every time I
Mm-hmm.
needed to take a break, and I'm like, okay, I need to take a break. I'm just feeling
Mm-hmm.
overwhelmed. This needs to happen. That needs to happen. He would just take
Mm-hmm.
over and say that, okay, go ahead, go take your break and do what you need to do. And
Good.
it's like, when I started talking about, when I did the reset, I'm like, okay, I want to do this. And he's like, okay, so let's figure out how can we make it happen,
Yeah.
can
I
make it,
love that.
he still has a full-time job. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I'm homeschooling as well. So I do
Mm-hmm.
have the kids most of the time with me.
Oh, wow.
So we were like, okay, how can we make this happen? Because I want to do my PhD, I want to have my work, and I want to do my podcast. So, like right now, we are doing this. So I'm like, okay, so I plan my things according to his schedule as well. So when he comes home after his work, he takes over with the kids, and that's when I do my work and work on my PhD too.
So y'all have
So,
a well-oiled machine over there.
but yeah, so communication,
Yes.
working on our communication, but planning and just letting each other know that, okay, this is when I need my break and my time, and
Yeah.
um, for support, because your partner is not going to be able to support you if they don't know how to support you or what they need
Absolutely.
to do.
Yeah. I think so many people in relationships. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I was gonna say, I think so many people, especially my generation, we romanticize things a lot, and people just automatically think your partner is just supposed to know everything about you, how you feeling, how you need support. So I'm really glad that you continuously bring up the fact that communication is a big thing. Let me know how I can support you. You need a break, okay? Let me know because I'll come and take over.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you brought that up. And on the flip side of that, I have another question for you for moms that don't have a partner in the home like me. So I'm a solo mom, right? And what could you say to someone that is not partnered? What advice do you have for them if they're going through postpartum, or if they think they may be going through postpartum? Any words that you can give to them?
Yes. So first, I'm gonna go address the support part for single moms. Okay. So there are a
Mm-hmm.
lot of single moms community. Find your mama tribe. Um,
Yes.
Figure out an exchange system that you can do to take breaks, where you can take care of your friend's kids one day, and then she gets a break, and you can
Mm-hmm.
take care of your kids' break, and she gets a break. So doing that exchange system, but and finding the people, being real, and letting them know what your support is, what your struggles are.
Yeah.
Reaching out to the resources in the community. If you need help with childcare, there are associations that do subsidize childcare as well. Like I know Forward Foundation is one of them,
Yep.
which is
I'm a Forward Foundation mom, actually.
good.
Yeah.
Uh, so there are resources in the community that are there, but nobody's going to know and be able to help you if they don't know that you need help, right? Um, so reach out to other moms and talk to church leaders if you're going to church or you're part
Mm-hmm.
of any community. Share your concerns and help that you
Mm-hmm.
need. So that's the support part, being real with your friends, right? The second one that I was going to say was just in general, you are in charge of yourself, right? And this is advice for every mom, single or not single.
Mm-hmm.
You are in control of yourself. You're in control of your life, of your emotions, of your life. So take inventory of your life and how you're feeling. Take time to connect with yourself. Um, think about how you're feeling, the issues that are going on in your life. How are they making you feel? Do you have any physical symptoms? How are those emotions making you feel? How badly is the situation
Excuse me.
affecting you? That's okay. Is there any trauma that needs to be dealt with? I feel like everybody has some sort of trauma. We need help in the in some area or the other. So you have to find what degree of trauma is affecting you. Are you in an abusive relationship? Has abuse affected you? Are you safe? That's my first question. Are you in a safe environment? What are the goals that you have for your life? In 5 years down the road, what do you want your life to look like? So you need to envision
That's
the
a really good one too.
yeah, you need to think
Yes.
about what you want your life to look like. And then once you have that picture, so there's a question that's called the miracle wand question, right? In the counseling
Mm-hmm.
world. If a
Mm-hmm.
miracle were to happen and everything is like you want it to be, what would your life look like? And when you're thinking about this question, think about how you're feeling, what your senses are. Oh, you wake up this one morning. Do you feel the sun shining on your skin?
Mm-hmm.
What is the air like? What is the what do the sheets feel like? You know, what does it smell like? So engaging all your senses and all this image that you have, and then think about it without any limitations. Like, you know, don't think about, oh, I'm never going to have the money to live in that house. Don't limit yourself with all these beliefs. You know, imagine and think about what it's going to be like. What do you want it to look like? Once you have that vision for your life, then start making a plan that, okay, what can I do today to get to that point?
Yes, small steps.
Exactly. And SMART goals. So that's where you start
Mm-hmm.
setting small goals that you can start doing right now. Okay, so if I want to save up for a home or apartment, whatever it is, what can I do right now towards it? Can I put away $2 aside every single day,
Or
right?
not drink Starbucks for a year and save that money.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Just taking inventory of how you can make your dreams happen, because I
Mhm.
believe that all of us are blessed with gifts and talents. It's what we do
Yes.
with them that makes a difference.
Yes, I love it. So that was your advice to mothers in general, just taking inventory, right? Do you have any advice that you can give to spouses of a mom that may be going through postpartum or thinks that she is? How can they
Yeah,
support her? What
I,
questions should they ask? What should they be looking out for?
I love that you asked that. I think open communication and just thinking about what was your spouse like before they had a child, because pregnancy can change things too, right? Just tuning in with them and checking in with them and just showing grace, a lot of grace.
A lot of grace, because you did not just have a baby, okay?
Yes, and just loving on them, because I feel like moms do so much. Just even thinking about what moms do or what I do, it's stressful. If I give you a list of my day, it is stressful. But now and we don't get acknowledged or thanked for what we do. So just acknowledging your partner, validating your partner, and letting them know that, they are important. They are an important role of the
And
family.
essential. If mom was not in the house for a day, what would get done with the place burned down? So we are essential.
Yes, but I think that women are not given that priority, or that um, the fact that they're also the leaders of their home, right? So it's a leadership role. I was taking this course, it was called Leadership Development for my PhD, and we had to write about how do we see ourselves as leaders. I'm like, you know what? I have my own company or everything, but the fact is, I'm a leader in my home. So I need
Yes.
of you, because we are really the leaders of our home, right? So before we start thinking about how we envision our leadership in the world, how do you envision your leadership in your home? Are you a transformer?
Yes.
And what kind
Yes.
of a role model do you want your kids to have, right? So think about that.
Yes.
Be deliberate. And okay, I cannot stress this point enough. Both parents have to be on the same page. So this advice is for spouses. As you grow,
Mhm.
as the kids grow older, you're gonna see they're gonna use that against you. Oh, mom said this, but
Mm.
said this. So that can be used against you. Make sure you're on the same page. And how
Yeah.
can you be on the same page? You need to communicate. What are
Yeah.
the standards that you're setting up for your family? Are you both on
Yes.
the same page, or are you not on this? And you're not going to be on the same page 100%. Let me say,
Yes.
but you need to pick and choose your battles. So for
Hmm.
partners, first point is stay tuned with how your spouse is looking and feeling, and
Yes.
ask the right questions. How are you feeling? How can I help you? I think the women don't get that question asked enough. How can I help you?
Because
How
we
can I support
multitask so well. People think we just can do it all. And we can, but like sometimes we need some help.
well, we ask for help too. I think we need to get better at asking for help. And I'm
Absolutely.
working on that too, that, I need to ask for help because we're just used to doing it on our own. We think we can do it. And depending on our personality types, we want to do it on ourselves. But
Mm.
recognizing that we're just putting too much unneeded burden on our own selves too, right?
Unneeded. Yes. Yes. So, okay, you talked when we initially talked before tonight. You mentioned losing your individuality, reconnecting with yourself, which we've kind of shared that, and getting in touch with your dreams. So after you did your work, you went to therapy, you talked to your coach, you got more in tune with yourself, talked to your family, and let them know how they can support you. How did you get to chasing those dreams? Like, how did you make that move to opening your own company, starting your own podcast? This is like the inspirational part of it all because, moving from having postpartum depression to where you are now is like really inspiring. So there's a mom out there, partnered or not, wherever you are with your mental health journey, you can turn that thing around. It's going to take some work and some discipline, but I would love for you to talk to everyone, the Soul Tribe, about how you were able to make that shift.
So first, like I said, I created a plan. What do I want to do? What do I want my life to look like? And like I always wanted to do my PhD. I had mentioned that to my husband even before we had kids that I wanted to do that, but I had just put that on the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, why not now? What is stopping me? And I put that on the list too, that I want to do that. So it's that whole journey started from me creating my vision board, right? What I wanted to do and how I wanted to see things happen. And then when I did that, then I started thinking about, okay, what are the steps that I can start taking now? So I started eating healthier, started doing physical activity every day. So which meant like even doing 30 minutes of walking with my kids, just doing something, being outdoors, doing something fun. Just doing some journaling, even if it's 2 lines per day. Doing that. And then I started taking steps towards like, okay, how can I make that happen? If I want to help other moms, what can I do?
Yeah.
I reached out to my directors that I was working with before when I was working in the counseling world. I
Mm-hmm.
met them. I said to them, okay, I want to do something and help moms out there. This is where
Mm-hmm.
I'm. Yes. Okay, sure, let's make it happen. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. That was
Yeah, that easy. Yep.
and I'm like, okay. So then I started thinking about how, and one thing led to the other, and I'm like, okay, I can create my own company and partner up with the local counseling places in the area as well. So and be a life coach, a certified life coach with them. So that's what I am right now. So
Yeah.
my director, Mike Flynn, who has a practice that has been in Richmond for about 35 to 40 years, Christian
Okay.
counselors. I'm a partner with them. I'm a partner of RVA for Wellness. I was running group coaching things. I was leading a small group at the church. So just one thing after the other. As soon as I stepped in to what I wanted to do, one thing led to the other. But I was taking deliberate steps to reach out to people and say that, okay, this is what I want to do. I just want to help women. How can I do it? And then second, for my PhD, I just got all the requirements done. I applied. I got in. I'm doing it at Regent. I was looking for something that's all online. It is all online. That's the only way I could do it. And
Mm-hmm.
it
So is
happened.
it self-paced? Is your school self-paced or
So yes and no. So
okay.
I'm still a part-time student, which means I take 2 courses per semester.
Okay.
We do have collaborates, so they have times for the collaborates. If you cannot attend those collaborates in person, you can view the recorded videos and then you can submit a summary afterwards.
Okay.
So it's partially self-paced and it's not. So you do
Okay.
work throughout the week yourself, but you have collaborates once a week that
Okay.
you need to participate. If you cannot, there's substitute work that you can do instead.
Okay. So I was going to ask you this question. I think we may have answered it. So in the beginning of the series, I always ask people, what do you do? And that just kind of leads into, what do you do for work? What is your profession, right? And then I'll ask you the same exact question. So what do you do? But this time it just means, what do you do to keep yourself well? How are you thriving? I feel like we've talked a little bit about it, but if there's anything else that you want to share aside from, the walking and checking in with yourself and journaling and eating well, is there anything else that you want to share with the soul tribe about just how you keep yourself well?
Yes, like I said earlier, to me, spirituality is a big part of my being, and I owe everything that I am to my God. So if I am not connecting with God on a daily basis, I feel like my day is incomplete. So
Mm,
to me, it is like a lifestyle. I like to be grateful, and I'll start my day with thanking God for the day that He has blessed me with, and doing my affirmations in the morning. If I'm not woken up fanatically by my kids, but I
right.
still like, I love listening to Christian music throughout the day
Mhm.
when you're driving or doing this and that, listening to podcasts. So I like to listen to things that build me up. So that's inspiring to me.
Yeah,
And just declaring scripture over my life as well, and just reading God's word, and just checking in with my friends and my loved ones as well.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So I have a couple more questions and then we'll wrap up. This has been great. I feel like you are very informative. You have so much knowledge just in general and also from the mental health field. So I learned a lot, to be honest with you. The other question I want to ask you is, what do you want the world to know about Jenny? It doesn't have to be anything related to motherhood or your business, but if you could scream from a rooftop somewhere and everybody in the world could hear it, what would you want them to know about you?
Hmm. Oh, about me, or just say something in general to them?
Either or. You choose one.
Okay, I would do answer both. So from
Okay.
know about Jenny is that Jenny is on her own journey of becoming well, but it is possible. Take one day at a time, and this is what I'm gonna say from the rooftops to everybody: give yourself grace, never give up, and keep going one step at a.
One step at a time. I tell people that often. I told somebody that today with everything that I have going on. I just take things one day at a time. Don't ask me about something that's happening next week because I'm trying to get through today. Okay. So I love that advice. I also want to have you remind all of the people watching and everyone that will watch the replay of the code that we made for you for them to save with Soul Rise Essentials.
Yeah, that's Jenny 10. That's JENNY 10 that Soliel made for my tribe. And the code that I have for your listeners is, it's called, I think, I forget what it was actually. Was it 50 off? Five.
Oh
Oh,
gosh.
it feels like it has been a while. I'm sorry. I apologize. I think it is
It's okay.
50 off. Uh,
Are you saying 50 or 15?
50.
Okay.
So
I think
that's
it
off.
may have been 50 or 60, one of them.
Yes, it's either one of them. I apologize if I can't remember. Um, Either one. 50.
So I'll
OFF or
also put it in the description of this video. So once we finish with this, I'll just put it in the description after you text me which to confirm whichever one it was. But what are you giving them I guess a discount for? What services are you offering to everybody?
yes. So it's for my coaching packages. I usually do like a 1 month package, or like a 3 month package. So it's it's the dollar amount of the packages.
Okay. So if anybody here liked anything that you heard, if you connected with Jenny, her story, you want to reach out with her to her, if you're a mom or just a woman in general, and you want to utilize any of her services, she is in Richmond. Do you also do remote clients? Like if somebody in California wanted to work with you?
Yes. So basically, I can do clients all over the world. It's a global service because we do it virtually, and some people just like to do it over the phone instead of being face to face.
Okay.
Some
And hopefully you don't mind me asking this because I asked you this over the phone, but I like to learn about people and their culture and where they're from. What is your family's background?
Sure. So I'm ethnically from Pakistan, but I grew up in Dubai. So my parents are in Dubai. They're here right now with us, but that's where I grew up, in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. And I was in Toronto, Canada for about 11 years before I moved to Richmond, Virginia in
Okay.
2008.
In 2000. Oh, in 2008. Okay. 1 year before I graduated high school. Isn't that funny?
Oh,
Well, it has been wonderful having you on here, Jenny. I really appreciate your time. And I'm still looking forward to joining you on your podcast and just talking more about my journey as well. So I just want to say thank you for being here with the Soul Tribe. And is there anything else that you want to share with our audience before you leave?
Yes. So if you need to reach me and just get in touch with me, my email is info, that's INFO, at holymom.com. That's WHOLYMOM.com. And follow me on Instagram or Facebook. Again, the hashtag is the same. Sorry, my thing is the same. I forget the name for it. It's WHOLYMOM. And actually, I would just looked up the emails. It's actually 60 off for your
Okay.
tribe. That's
Okay.
so shoot me an email or send me a DM with 60 off. And if you're interested in signing up in many packages, before I do anything, I like to do a discovery call. So to see if we both are a good fit for each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
I
my
love
podcast
it.
is the Holy Mom Chat Podcast.
The Holy Mom
Chat Podcast.
Chat, the Holy Mom Chat podcast. Serenity Burson says, thank you. I had somebody in the audience. They just wanted to say thank you. Yeah. So thank you, Jenny. I look forward to just seeing everything that you accomplished. I'm just wowed by you and just like, how does she do it all with 3 children, a husband, a business, going for her PhD? So I salute you and I love your Instagram page. I can cook. I just don't like to cook. So I'm going to stay tuned to your page because I see that you share like some recipes and stuff. So keep sharing that. Help me out.
Yes, of course. I like to have simple recipes as well. That's easy to go, make it on the go and involve kids into.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to stay on for a little bit and just chat it up with the Soul Tribe, and then I'll be headed out as well. But thank you so much. And I will see y'all. Well, we'll see y'all next month. Hopefully you can join in just to watch too for our Soul Seek conversation number 5. Thank you so much, Jenny.
Thanks for having me. Happy holidays and have a blessed and prosperous new year, everyone.
Thank you so much. I receive all that. And same back to you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Talk to you later. Y'all, that was absolutely amazing. It was very informative. I hope that you learned something, whether you are a mom, partner. Oh, is it going to let you just dial out? Will it let you? Or do I have to like press a button?
Are you going to kick me out? I don't know.
I don't know how this, okay, yeah, I think the last person, they were able to just like hit a button and it kicked them out. I didn't do it.
Okay, I'm trying.
You can, okay, there we go. I was gonna say you can hang out if you want to. So yes, this was very, very informative, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us. I know it was a new time, things were a little bit different, but like I was saying earlier, whether you're a mom, a partner, or just someone that's had a baby, someone that may be experiencing just depression in general. But tonight we were just talking about postpartum depression and kind of what things that you can look out for. So if you're not quite feeling like yourself and you just had a baby, you're concerned, you've heard about this whole postpartum depression thing, and you got questions, just find somebody and reach out. There are resources out there. I know that you can go to, I think it's therapyforblackgirls.com. That is a really, thank you so much, Jenny. She said she had a blast. Was it therapyforblackgirls.com? Of course, everybody watching is not Black, but that is a resource. You are so welcome, Jenny. That is a resource for women of color. But if you go to psychologytoday.com, they have therapists anywhere in the world as well. So I just wanted to share those resources. Definitely, there are some things that you want to look out for. The quick Google search will let you know, because again, I'm not a professional. I don't want to put, information out there as if it's the end all be all. But I just want us to, like Jenny said earlier, just tune in, check in, educate ourselves, and just be on the lookout and be honest, raw, and real with ourselves about what we're going through. Because I say this to people too, and some people may not agree, but as a parent, you have to put yourself first, especially emotionally and mentally. We carry a lot. We do a lot. And as Jenny said earlier, we as parents, mom or dad or anybody else, we have to model what self-care looks like to our children. So you don't want to raise a child that doesn't know how to check in, that doesn't know how to emote, that doesn't know, what wellness for themselves looks like. So they have to see us doing it, So I just wanted to encourage y'all. So therapyforblackgirls.com, and then Psychology Today if you need a therapist. And also, again, a quick Google search, a trusted person in the mental health education field. If you look up someone like Dr. Caroline Leaf, she's amazing. She's a neuroscientist. I talked about Dr. Tracy Marks, Tracey Marks. They're both on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. People like that, they are They've been doing this work for a really long time. They are certified professionals. And if you just wanted to check in on their informational videos, just to kind of see, what things should I be looking out for, definitely do that. Again, I just like to share resources for you all. And I'm here, for the support, but I'm not a therapist. I'm not a doctor, but I'll let you know some people that I know, that I love, and that I trust. So I hope y'all enjoyed tonight's episode. Thank you for sticking with us through the technical difficulties, y'all. I'm actually getting over what I think was bronchitis, so I was coughing. But listen, you have to show up. I am just showing up real raw with a cough and everything. I feel fine, but it's just that lingering cough that's going away very slowly. So I'm taking care of myself. We made it through the night. Y'all made it through the night. And again, I just want to say thank you. We'll be back on another Thursday in January. It'll be 2022, y'all. It will be 2022. We have some new merch that we're dropping for the new year. So you definitely want to get on our email list. You can find that in our bio, in our link tree. And so you can be the first to know about it, know what it is, where you can find it, how much it's going to cost, when you can buy it, all that stuff. So go sign up for our email list for information like that and so much more. If you made it to the end of this video, I see 2 people still sticking with me. Drop a orange heart down below. If you're watching the replay, drop a yellow heart down below. Thank you, Serenity. I really appreciate that. This cough, it sounded awful. So today, I was coughing a little bit, but it sounds much better than what it did. So y'all just keep me in prayer and in your thoughts. And thank you for sending the good positive words. Share this video with a single mama. Share this video with a mama. Share this video with a daddy, a sister, a brother. Long story short, share this video so somebody can be tapped into this conversation and learn something. Jenny was so insightful. Also, go back on our IGTV and watch episodes 1, 2, 3 from our past episodes and just enjoy that. Thank you for dropping your heart, Jenny. What else? I got to make my announcements before we leave. Oh, if you want to shop with Soul Rise Essentials and you want a discount, you can use Jenny's code. It is JENNY10. If you're interested in coaching services with Jenny, you can set up a discovery call with her. And then if you guys, end up working with each other, you can save $60 off your package. And I'm going to get the code from her. I think she said you can email her and just let her know that you watched this show and that, you get $60 off for being part of the Soul Tribe. I think you can do that. I'm not sure if there's a code, but if there is, you can look in the description box and I will let you know what it is. Thank you for the heart, Serenity. I think that's it, y'all. Yep. Shop. Okay, so the code is 60 off, 60OFF. That is the code for Jenny of Holy Mom. Yes, shop soulriseessentials.com. We still have some of these mustard hats in the store. We have our black hats in the store. We have our original tee, our pack light, white pack light pocket tee. We have some more of these. Again, you can use Jenny's code, Jenny10, to get 10% off. These are the baby tees. This is a 3T. We have a 2T. We have 4T, 5T, 6T. Youth small, medium, large, adult small, medium, large, extra large, extra large. So go shop, y'all. Shop, share, comment, and I'll see y'all in 2022 for the next Soul Seed conversation. So Holy Mom says in the subject email, you put 60 off. Okay, sorry, there's no code, but if you email her at info@holymom.com and include in the subject line 60 off, she'll know to give you that 60 off after the discovery call, and you guys are a good fit. So thank you. I would love to stay on here. Y'all know I love talking to y'all, but I gotta go get my baby and go lay down, get rid of this cough. So be well, stay well, y'all. I'll see y'all in January 2022 for episode 5.